So this week's lesson is all about taking our wireframe mockups and adding the full high fidelity treatment to each of the three designs. However, this week we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the more advanced things that you can do when creating a mockup. Things that will make it go a little bit faster, but also give you some flexibility with a lot of the details. One of the first things I want to talk about is cropping images and placing images inside of different shapes or working with different kinds of shapes to put your image into. First off, let's bring in a photograph. I'm simply going to go down to my little shapes area and choose image and video. I'm going to choose one of the images that I give to you just for practice sake. And remember, when you bring it in, you can click and drag and that will place your image. Now, of course, once it's placed, you can click and drag and scale it and change the size of it. But let's say I wanted to crop this photo to emphasize a specific area, or if I wanted it to be squared off or just a different shape. There's a couple of different ways you can do this. First off, if you double click on the image itself, it will automatically go into this little isolation edit mode, and you can see how it opens up the fill options for it. This does give you the ability to also edit your image. So if I needed it to be a little bit brighter or a little bit more contrasting, change the highlights of it and make those brighter or darker, you can fix that. And you may have to zoom in to see this. You get these little handles up here at the top. So these handles give you the ability to click and drag and scale in exactly where you want it to be. Then when you click away, it automatically commits that transformation. Now, it doesn't delete any of the pixels. At any time, you can double click it and you can even move the image around, or you can resize it to fit an area and it stays nicely inside of that area too. Now, another thing you can do is to start with an existing shape. And there's actually two different modes of thinking on this. Once again, I'm going to go down to my control panel down here. And this time, I'm going to choose a rectangle. And I'm going to start by drawing my little rectangle, the size I want it to be. And I'm going to round off the edges of mine by clicking on my little corner widget and just drag it in just to show you that it's not just a simple rectangle. In order to place a picture inside of this, we can go down to our fill menu. We're working in the design mode. And when you click on it, of course, we can always change the color. But if you click up here at the top, this is where you can change it to some different things. One of those, clicking on this little icon, means you can insert an image inside of this area. Right now, you can see how it just turns it into a transparent area. But when I upload it from my computer, I can then pick the picture that I want. And automatically it tries to fill in that entire size. And again, I can recrop it to whatever size I want it to be. Do note, there's a difference in crop, fill, tile, and fit. If you choose fill, it's automatically going to fill the size of your image. If I go to resize this, you can see how it will automatically recrop and resize. If I try to do it to this one, well, it's going to simply resize the whole thing. So this one, with the option of filling it, automatically does that. And that kind of comes in handy. I was in crop mode. And that comes in handy whenever you're trying to resize content and you want that content to stay inside of that area. If you choose fit, it's going to stay inside of it, but it's going to usually crop it down. And so it automatically resizes the image to fit the area, even if it's giving you some negative space. In this case, you would want to scale it down proportionally. Hold down the Shift key and it will scale nicely with it. The final one is tile. Tile comes in handy if you've got a repeating pattern and you want that pattern to repeat over and over again. I'm going to make it super huge. You can see how it's simply repeating that picture to fill out the area. We'll use this on the background to maybe repeat a pattern. But keeping it at fill or keeping it at crop also gives you the ability to crop those two as well. So that's starting with an image and then placing the picture inside of it. A third way that you can crop an image is to start with an image and then tell it to mask inside of it. So once again, I'm going to return down here and choose my image that I want to import. I'm going to place it onto my area, and then I need to have a shape to mask it off. You can draw your own shapes, but for the sake of time, I'm simply going to use, let's do the star just to show you this. I'm going to draw off whatever little shape I want. In this case, it's a star. And the star, the shape itself, needs to be behind the area. So instead of it being on top, we want to go up to our object and tell it to send it to the back so that it's behind this. Then you need to select both the star and the image. And you can do that by clicking and dragging over both of them till they're both selected. Once they're both selected, go back up to the Object menu and tell it to Use as Mask. This will mask it off inside of that area. And again, the best part about this is you can change up the shape, or in this case, you can move it around the shape, or let's see if I can get it to do a radius. Or I can click on the image by double-clicking it and move the image around inside of there. So 3 different powerful ways of being able to crop images and put images into our design. Once by just placing it and cropping it, once by making an image and then putting it in there or creating a mask for it. What we want to do is to be able to put some images for our little marketing message that goes right here. So I'm going to design out this area. I want my marketing message to say, so I'm going to grab my type tool, and so get strong today! Exclamation point. Of course, I need this to be a little bit bigger, so I'm going to make it large enough to be able to see, and I'm even going to make it extra bold just to be able to see what I'm working with. Get strong today. That looks good right there. Maybe I'll even make it a little bit bigger. Oops, not that way, Mr. Ivy. Let's go for this way, 72 point, and then we'll resize that. Okay, whatever it takes for this one. I want to be able to put an image inside of here that's going to be a circle. I'll start off, in my case, making an ellipse, and I'll set it there. I can then select my ellipse, and I can do this a couple of different methods, whatever works for you, but I'm going to choose my fill color, set my fill to be an image, and then I'm going to choose my little power lifter and put her inside of this. Then once I see she's nice and centered, oops, make sure to double click on it. There we go. Sometimes it helps to reset that. If it is hard to crop it, you can always tell it to fill, and it'll automatically place it the way it should be. And let's just get it right there. That looks good. Then I can remove this area. And I'm going to turn back on my guides, and let's place this within my design. So get strong today. It's going to fill up and take up all of this space. And again, maybe I'll make this a little bit bigger. What does 100 look like? Much better. Choose my selection tool, and we'll move this up. Now you can also apply fills to an entire frame. And we've done this before. Just make sure to select the frame itself. In my case, I've clicked on the name of it. And then you can go down to the fill down here, and you can change it to be whatever color or image that you want inside of it. However, let's fill this in with a repeating pattern. In order to do this, I want to change the color of my fill for my background on my website, and I'm going to simply make it an orange. Maybe later on I can change it up for now, but I'm just going to make it something simple like this. On top of this orange, I want to be able to place my logo. Now, in order to do this, I'm going to go to Place My Logo first, so choose your image. I've got a version of my logo that all it is just a white version, and then it's got a transparent background, so that will do. And I'll say OK. And I'm going to place this up here just outside of the area. Don't put it inside because we want to be able to draw from it outside. Next, make sure you have your frame selected. Go over to your fill, and we want to add on a pattern fill on top of this. So I'm going to click on the little plus sign. This is going to add a new fill on top of our orange, and then I'm going to choose my little tile. Now, for this one, it's going to tell you to select the source. This won't open the image. Instead, notice that my little cursor is a little plus sign, and it's asking me to find the source file or the image that I want to work on. So in my case, I'm going to click on my logo, and automatically you can see how it starts to populate inside of that area. Now, this may not be what I want it to look like. I want to change up the size of it and maybe spread it out a bit. So here's where I can go down to my options and I can scale it down. You can either type in or you can click on this and you can scrub down. You can see how it gets much smaller. If I wanted to space it out more, I can increase this number. Notice the horizontal and vertical spacing is automatically selected for there. There's also two different tile types. You can do regular brick style or rectilinear, or you can do hexagonal. I kind of like hexagonal. It shifts everything over. And you can play around with the alignment, but for what we're doing, we're just going to keep it nice and simple. The final thing you may want to play around with is the opacity of this pattern. Whenever you place it, you can change the opacity out here by clicking on this number and making it more or less opaque. Naturally, we want to keep it so that you can read all the stuff on top of it. So I'm going to keep my opacity around 20 to 30% and just show that I can use it there. You can add as many fills to an area as you want. Let's say I wanted the repeating pattern just to be up here at the top and I wanted it to fade down as it moves down my screen. So in my case, again, I'm going to choose my desktop frame. I can go back to my fill. And then I can click on this and let's add a gradient on top of it. Remember with gradients, you got a couple of different kinds. I'm going to keep mine as a linear gradient. And you can see how this is looking on here. So if I wanted, I can click here. I can drag this up. I can have it go lighter to darker. And I can, depending on how dark I want it to be and where I want it to stop, it'll be set to here. One other thing to note is I've got this entire fill set to 20%. So that's why it's not showing up as 100% black. So I'm going to adjust this opacity and bring it up. So now it gets a little bit darker. Now I can dial in exactly where I want my light and dark to be. And we'll pull this down here so that it looks like this. So now I've got my pattern repeating in the background. I've got an image cropped inside of here. And also in my background, I've added multiple different kinds of fills to that area. You play around with the details for yours on this. Also, as you play around with the details for the colors and the placement, do make sure that you can still read your text. In my case, I think this black is getting a little bit too lost in this area. So with it selected, I'm going to change its fill color. Whoops, let's go down to the bottom, make it white so that it stands out. The final thing you may want to do is to save all of this up as a style. For example, I want this same background to be applied to all of my other screens. So with it selected, remember you can always save a style by clicking on the 4 little dots up here at the top. And this will add it to your libraries. We'll click the little plus sign, and I'm simply going to call this my background. It remembers all of these properties. I can choose Create Style. There it is saved up. So now, to apply it to my tablet, I can select the tablet. I can go to my fill, and I can open up my styles, and with one click, automatically apply it to all of my others. Again, fill, open my styles, and then apply it to there.